the time, dude. That's why they have to be this way. Even if that was the case, even if it was truly remarkably dangerous, okay? Remarkably dangerous to be a fucking police officer. And in a lot of areas in Chicago, it is fucking dangerous. It is dangerous in a place like Chicago to be a cop. Even then, like, it is not a justification for fucking going on a murderous rampage. Like, what is this? What does this take? Motherfucker, understand the severity, the power that you have. You are the arm of the state. You are the violent arm of the state, which currently holds a monopoly on violence. You have to act like it. You have to recognize that that is a tremendous amount of responsibility. You can't just fucking be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm scared all the time, so I have to literally murder people. It goes against everything that we claim we care about. Okay? It goes against everything that we claim we care about. Yeah, it actually it got demoted. There's now it's a 22nd most dangerous job. They don't even crack the top 20 anymore. Boys, if you say drop the weapon and put your hands up and you still shoot someone, then what's the reason? Like, don't even say it. Just fucking murder everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. Put your hands up doesn't mean anything if you're going to fucking kill someone regardless. And if there's no accountability in this circumstance, and I believe there might not be, then what kind of message does that send to cops all around the fucking country? What kind of message does that send to black and brown people that have to deal with police officers on a daily basis as an occupying force? That's why I mentioned the one shot fired. There is no shooting to maim. It's not a police protocol. It's not a police procedure. If he is a reasonable threat, then he gets then he's supposed to mag dump. There is no in between. The one shot fired shows that the officer fucked up and knew he probably shouldn't have done it, and he still did it anyway. Okay? Remember, that's not exercising restraint. Exercising restraint is not shooting. There is no in between.
No doubt that weapon was used. Shell casings were recovered at the location of the shot spotter where it went off, where they were shooting at a passing vehicle, which is overlooked in this whole situation. There's a bunch of different components to this whole situation. The officers were pretty close by when that shot spotter alert went off. They responded to the scene. Of course, the offenders took flight and left. There was no one else out on the street corner at that time. It was pretty obvious when the officers got there that they probably had something to do with those shots going off. They took off on foot. The officers gave chase. You could clearly see an object, which is the gun.
Guys, there is no shooting to maim, okay? And here's why. They aimed at his chest. I'm thinking very literally here. No, you fucking go for the largest target. Like, I know some of you have never shot a gun, but if you're actually shooting to kill, like, if you're shooting someone, you're not supposed to go for the head. You're not supposed to go for the legs. You're literally supposed to go for the fucking body. You're supposed to go for the gut or the chest area. You're supposed to hit center mass, okay? Because aiming is not very easy. So that's number one. And number two is there's no shooting to maim because you think that you could fucking maim someone by shooting them in the leg because that's what you see in video games and shit like that or in movies. No, motherfucker, there's arteries that go through your leg. You're definitely going to kill a motherfucker. You have more of a shot of surviving if you got shot in the head than you do if you got shot in the fucking leg. You bleed out and you die. There's arteries in your leg. It depends on where you get shot in the fucking head. Okay, not true. I don't want to fucking trigger some people here, but plenty of people who shoot themselves in the face by putting a gun in their mouths fucking survive the process. And the reason why they survive the process is because there's a lot less areas. I mean, there's a lot more areas a bullet can fucking travel through in your head without hitting something significant or serious. Are you always this dumb? Anyway.
In the offender's hand, in his right hand, as he enters that open fence area. Now, if you go back to the video from the school that shows the long shot, he absolutely has something in his hand. You could see him extending his right arm behind the fence and then coming up with an empty hand. So whatever he had in his hand was gone. The gun was what was recovered, and it wasn't recovered later. It was recovered immediately. The officers saw the gun right away as soon as they started rendering aid 10 seconds after the shot was fired. But again, from behind a fence to this in less than a second. In reality, an average human being could not block someone from slapping them in the face in less time than that, let alone deciding.
Fuck, I have to run an ad right now before the top of the hour. Sorry, I have to run an ad, boys. It's top of the hour. It's a 6-second ad break. I'm going to continue the video in a second, but I have to run a 1-minute ad here. This dude is a fucking absolute freak, okay? Listen, if you no longer want to see the ads, you can subscribe. You can do it for $5, or you can do it for free with your Twitch Prime, but here's the ad now.
And registering.
And I gotta grab
it's a good reason why the officer only shot one. He would have been just.
Shut the fuck up. This is what I mean. This is the heart of the fucking argument here. If shooting once is demonstrating restraint, then it should be a part of police protocol. It's not. Okay? You don't shoot once. You shoot to kill. You hit center mass and you fucking mag dump. Okay? That's what you're supposed to do. If a situation warrants you shooting someone, you have to kill them. Or you have to try to kill them at least. There is no fucking shooting to maim. That's not a part of police protocol. So what he's basically saying here, this thumb motherfucker is basically saying here is like, oh, well, he violated police protocol. There is no in between. Okay? There is no in between. There is no like, oh, well, he shot one shot and he demonstrated restraint. Look at how brave he was. No, motherfucker, then that means he should have not shot. You're basically admitting that in that situation, he should not have shot, and he shot, he still used his fucking gun. Okay? What do you mean he did kill him? No. Oh my God. Okay, guys. Guys. I know he killed him. I'm saying that normally, police are trained to mag dump. Okay? Police are trained to mag dump. In the real world, people don't die as fucking easily as you see in video games. So, what you're supposed to do as a cop is empty out your entire magazine. Or your fucking clip, or whatever the fuck gun nerds get angry about. It doesn't matter. You are supposed to fire every shot that you have. There's no one-tapping people. Like, there is no like, oh, I'm such a fucking good... I'm so good at fucking headshots like Call of Duty. If someone is a threat to the degree that you have to shoot them, you literally have to fucking mag dump, okay? So there is no exercising restraint here. The chief of police is fucking himself over and fucking his own officer over. If he's trying to defend him, he's doing a terrible job here by saying, look at how restrained he was. Because that would mean that he violated what cops are supposed to do. If he was genuinely scared and he had reasonable suspicion, then he would empty out the magazine. But he didn't do that. He shot once because it was not a situation that warranted a shot to be fired.
Behind a fence to this in less than a second. In reality, an average human being could not block someone from slapping them in the face in less time than that, let alone deciding and registering. That it's a good reason why the officer only shot one. He would have been justified to shoot multiple times. We're trained to basically shoot two and reassess. That didn't even happen because by the time he had shot the first time in justification, he realized the gun was out of his hand. He didn't shoot a second time.
That's the part I just want to understand, because look, this is an investigative phase, and I do understand from my own reporting that, yes, the officer did immediately start to render aid. There was discussion about, how their equipment was, and then afterwards, he went and recovered the weapon. Now, here's the part I just want you to explain.
Hold on, I didn't hear that. Oh, did you guys hear me? You guys could hear me yelling? Yeah, I'm okay. I walked into the kitchen and my mom has headphones on and she screamed at me and I got so scared. Yeah, I did yell. She does this every time. Every time she has her headphones in and like I walk into my own kitchen and she screams at me and I got scared as well. Anyway.
An average human being could not block someone from slapping them in the face in less time than that, let alone deciding and registering. That it's a good reason why the officer only shot one. He would have been justified to shoot multiple times. We're trained to basically shoot two and reassess.
There you go. I fucking told you. When you pull out your gun and you're supposed to shoot, you're supposed to mag
That didn't
dump.
even happen because by the time he had shot the first time in justification, he realized the gun was out of his hand. He didn't shoot a second time.
It doesn't work that way. It literally doesn't work that way. Demonstrating restraint in that situation when he's already in the fucking wrong regardless, but demonstrating restraint in that situation implies that, like, it is not a justification for it. I can't believe this motherfucker's like, bro, the 13-year-old that this guy murdered, like, he could have murdered him extra hard, dude. Like, I love... Here's the thing. So the cop didn't follow procedure? Yes, the cop didn't follow procedure. Let me just say something here, boys. Here's what this is, okay? Cops are so fucking cocky with a lack of accountability that this guy is one of the most powerful motherfuckers in the entire state, okay? Maybe in the entire country. When you're the president of a police union, you are literally just straight up you can murder people and defend those murderers and get away with it. You can get away with extrajudicial murders. You can get away with fucking jailing people. You can get away with a lot of crime. Okay, he's literally a mafia boss. So much so that one of your fucking guys can kill a 13-year-old and then you can go on fucking national television, just remove police from the equation for a brief moment. Just remove police for a second and just think about what this guy is saying right now. This motherfucker is literally saying, my soldier, my capo or whatever, my soldier, my enforcer in the mafia did a great job murdering this 13-year-old because he could have murdered him super fucking hard if he wanted to. He could have murdered him extra hard. Like on CNN. He went on CNN and he said this 2 weeks after a 13-year-old boy was killed by one of his fucking goons. Look at his face. He just doesn't give a shit.
That's the part I just want to understand, because look, this is an investigative phase, and I do understand from my own reporting that, yes, the officer did immediately start to render aid. There was discussion about, how their equipment was, and then afterwards, he went and recovered the weapon. Now, here's the part I just want you to explain, if you would. If the kid was responding to the command, stop, show me your hands, drop it, and as you say, you can see from the camera that the kid threw it behind the fence. If you believe that it was obvious that the kid threw the gun behind the fence, as we see from the long shot from the school, why are you so quick to say it was obvious that the officer had to shoot?
Because there's no way the officer could see where his arm went when it went behind that fence panel. It was totally blocked by...
Bro, you don't understand. Listen, Chris, I know you're a himbo and you don't get it, but what if the kid has bullet bending powers? Okay? When he put his arm behind the fence, he could have shot, he could have bent the bullet, he could have curved it through the fence and then hit the officer, even though it was no longer visible. Like, people never think about curving bullets like in the movie Wanted. Yeah, there are magic bullets. Like, when he was actually putting his hands up, what if he actually was, doing gun kata? Yeah, he was getting a jutsu ready, dude. He was just fucking doing gunjutsu. So you never know, dude. You never know what he was doing.
By the fence itself. There's no
Motherfuckers who are saying he didn't know he didn't have the gun on him. Bro, that's the whole point of putting your fucking hands in the air, okay? Why are you guys saying they didn't know he had a gun on him? Are you guys fucking stupid? We understand that, okay? We're simply stating it does not matter. It should not be that, like, once a fucking gun has been fired and you're responding to a shots fired, you literally are like, well, they have a gun, so they're going to get murdered. Like, it doesn't matter. That's why you wait. That's why you fucking wait.
reason, and I'll tell you, we're coming up on the 20-year anniversary of a friend of mine, Officer Brian Strauss, who was shot in the middle of the night by a teenage gangbanger, June 30th of 2001.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, okay.
Brian didn't make
Well, what about a fucking adult gangbanger who's a part of the police force that you're defending, you fucking piece of shit?
it out of the alley that night. Again, we do not have to wait to be shot to respond. The officer had every reason
Hold on, sorry, I don't know.
to believe that that offender was turning and pointing the gun at him. Whatever ever it had, you can Monday morning quarterback it all you want, but according to Illinois statute, you only need to have a reasonable belief.
Oh, they just like
order
literally
to
show
take
him. Oh,
deadly
they show the entire footage here on
action.
CNN. What the
And
fuck?
no person in their right mind would not say that they would have been in fear of their life in that same situation in less than 1 second to react on whether that gun was still there or not.
And it was the same officer that rendered aid to the victim right after the shooting. That's an important fact as well. Do you have any questions?
Well, you know, if you watch that whole video, it wasn't just him.
Boys, here's the thing. Here's why the police union chief is correct. What if the 13-year-old was Magneto? Why does no one ever think about this? What if the 13-year-old had some mutant powers where he actually knew how to bend metal, and therefore dropping the gun was simply a misdirection? I'm just saying, like, while we're in the business of throwing out fucking justifications for things that did not happen, and you know, and acting like you know, some crazier shit that could have occurred there, and that's why it was justifiable to fucking shoot this person. You know, let's just go the extra mile. What if he had a rocket launcher behind the fucking fence?
I mean, everybody that responded to that scene was cheering the kid on to keep fighting and stay alive. This isn't like...
Oh, sick, dude. That's fine then. Okay. Hey, sorry we did a murder on you, but we were cheering to fucking unmurder you after we murdered you is a really good defense too.
You know, officers, they like to be vilified like we're out there hunting gangbangers.
Maybe because you're talking about a 13-year-old that you murdered, and you're literally like, and he might have been in a gang, okay, allegedly. Regardless, though, literally does not matter. You're like, oh, we're hunting gangbangers. You literally just did that. Like, you are literally doing that. You're justifying the murder of a 13-year-old by alluding that they are a gangbanger, and then turning around and being like, well, you know, we're not hunting gangbangers. Like, that's what people are trying to make us out to be like. Well, maybe, motherfucker, don't play into the meme so hard then.
You know, and that's not discussed either. This subject was a Latin King gang member. He did have a fresh tattoo on his arm that wasn't even healed. It was so fresh.
Motherfucker, he was 13 years old. Maybe examine the reasons as to why a 13-year-old joins a fucking gang. Like, and also, none of this shit matters. You did not know. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that the officer recognized that he had a fucking fresh tattoo, but could not recognize that he did not have a gun on him at the moment where he shot him. That's great, dude. That's literally great. What a great fucking reason to compile additional evidence on top of it, on top of a police execution to justify said execution. Things that the cop did not have knowledge of at the time. That's great. There is all of this right now, the hypotheticals of like what the cop could have potentially thought was going on. and you know, all the additional evidence, like the kid's a fucking gangbanger, bro. He had a tattoo, he had a fresh tattoo on him that we literally found out after we looked at his corpse after murdering him. All of this stuff is done so that morons in the fucking chat who already are like, you know, already have a point of view over black and brown people that live in these underprivileged neighborhoods, feel justified in the actions that they think the police took here. They feel like, you know, oh, it was right. To justify this kind of extrajudicial killing, they literally just beef up the rhetoric. None of it matters. None of the things that he just mentioned here matter in a court of law or even matter in trying to figure out whether or not this was a justifiable shooting. Okay? It literally does not matter. That cop doesn't fucking know if he's a gang member or not. That's a suspicion that he has. It might be correct in the end, but it still doesn't fucking matter. You can't shoot people because you suspect that they're gang members. It's racial profiling, motherfucker. Can you imagine a full-blown adult murders a 13-year-old and then other fucking adults turn around and they're like, well, the 13-year-old had it coming. He was a gang member. Like, we really need to go back, take a fucking step back as a collective, as a society, and take a good hard look at ourselves when you see one adult murdering a 13-year-old kid and then another adult who's in a position of power defending the fucking other adult who did the murder and vilifying the 13-year-old kid, okay? Because that 13-year-old can't even fucking buy alcohol, can't even fucking buy guns, can't do shit, can't drive a fucking car. They're in 7th grade, and you are on national television as the top cop in Illinois defending this murder by being like, well, he had it coming. The 13-year-old had it coming. He had a tattoo, brother. That's crazy, dude. That's insane.
You know, let's put the spotlight where it's at. The gangs take advantage of these poor, misguided young kids, and they use them for their own gain. They let them hold the guns all the time because they know they're not going to get charged juvenilely with a crime.
And they're wrong, brother. We will fucking murder those 13-year-olds. That's what I'm here to do. As the fucking president of the Chicago Police Union, I'm here to tell you, guess what? 13 doesn't matter. Bro, this is literally the same fucking IDF defense that Israel... the Israeli PR fucking for IDF engages in, where they're like, oh, well, Hamas fucking put, you know, bombs inside of hospitals, so we just have to bomb hospitals. It's like, how about you don't fucking bomb hospitals? Have you thought about that? How about you don't fucking kill the kids? I don't know. That's a good start, you know? Every time there is an oppressive force, a colonizing force that is significantly more powerful than the other force, and they murder fucking children, or women or non-combatants, they will turn around and literally say, well, they're using them as a shield. Okay? Because they thought you were more humane than you actually are. Even if they were using the kids as a fucking shield, which, you know, you have no proof for this or whatever, doesn't fucking matter. You still are saying, no, motherfucker, we are literally more violent than you thought we were. We are not more humane. We will fucking kill kids. That's what you're saying.
Crime. But the reality is, the one part that's not discussed now or almost ever is the repercussions of that officer's justified decision to take a life and the guilt that they have to live with for the rest of their life. The mayor came out on a press conference today and was talking about how traumatic it was to watch this video and urging people to really take a second thought about doing it. Well, what do you think the officers who responded to that scene and were rendering aid and trying to save his life are now stuck with for the rest of their life?
Oh, no, dude. The poor officers. By the way, that did happen. Daniel Shaver in Arizona was shot and killed after a gung-ho psychopathic cop killed him with his own fucking AR, by the way, that he was using as a service weapon on that hotel hallway. That fucking cop now gets paid by the Arizona state for PTSD damages because being a cop forced him in his mind to shoot. He gets his pension and he gets a payment for PTSD for murdering someone with his own AR-15 in a hotel hallway that was begging, crying on his hands and knees, begging for his fucking life. That AR-15 also had "get fucked" etched on the side of it, by the way. You know. Yeah. Straight up fucking bloody murder. Yeah. Why won't anybody think about the cops, dude? He has to kill a kid. Like, I don't understand. That's crazy.
Nobody ever take, and then they got to bring that home to their families, and then their families are affected.
You're lying? I am not lying, motherfucker. That is a 100%. Oh, okay. No, that is not a lie. Okay.
Affected by this.
I know it sounds
Again,
fucking insane, but
it's just a bad situation all the way around. The poor young kid, misguided, made a horrible decision that cost him his life, but it was justified, and the officer did everything he possibly could to the letter of the law and the guidelines of the Chicago Police Department.
I understand where you're coming from on it, and I understand the sympathies, and I understand why you want people to appreciate how hard a job it is. What I don't understand is, why does it matter? I mean, I don't know, and I haven't been able to confirm that the kid had any kind of gang affiliation, but even if you're right, why does that matter?
for the record, this dude is literally like, this dude is a psycho. Like, his Facebook posts were so bad that he almost got fired for his Facebook posts. Of course he didn't, because he's fucking a sick freak, and this is the Chicago Police Department, the Chicago Police Union. Obviously, he's supposed to be a fucking sick freak. I'm gonna give you some of his. I'm gonna give you some of it. Okay, since becoming an officer in 1995, he was subject of 35 complaints, has been suspended several times, and 2 past police superintendents have tried to fire him on separate occasions. Okay. Sidney Roberts, the chief administrator of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, COPA, which is the group that released the body camera footage, called for Catanzara, or however the fuck you say his last name, to be fired. The police superintendent, David Brown, suggested that he be suspended for 1 year, and now he is the head of the police union, because you fail upwards in the police department, especially in a place like Chicago, because the more brutal and the more fucking fascistic you are, the better you will, the better you will serve your job as a motherfucker who goes on national television and with a straight face says, we could have murdered the 13-year-old gangbanger extra hard, but we didn't. Why don't you feel bad for our cops who literally had to murder a kid? No, we're talking about this guy, the thumb on the screen. I'm giving you background on the thumb on the screen right now. Okay? I'm going to give you some of his Facebook posts. He's talked about how after a police shooting, he was like, seriously, it's time to kill these motherfuckers. He's like talking about murdering people. He says that it was about people who shoot at cops. He said it wasn't about black people. There was another post in January 22nd, 2017, where he referenced a member of the public writing, the stupidity of some humans like her proved that she's saying the best part dripped down her mom's fucking leg. He also described Muslims as savages and that they all deserve a bullet. Good shit. Oh, yeah, here. Here's the fucking cop in Arizona who shot Daniel Shaver. Officer Philip Brailsford. I'm not going to show you the video because it's one of the worst fucking videos of all time. Okay? The police officer fatally shot sobbing man, temporarily rehired so he can apply for pension, and also gets PTSD damages now. He gets paid like additional on top of the pension. He gets like damages for PTSD incurred on the PTSD that he got on the job murdering someone. Yeah, Mesa Police Department internal report found the words "You're fucked" were inscribed on the dust cover of the AR-15 patrol rifle Philip Mitch Brailsford used to shoot 26-year-old Daniel Shaver. That, by the way, was not allowed to be used as evidence. Evidence to show that this person was gung-ho as shit. That was not allowed. In that, I remember following that court case very closely. They literally, yes, they would not let that be seen as evidence in a court of law to show, to demonstrate that Phillips Brailsford was, a psycho who who dreams about murdering people.
Why doesn't it matter that they were shooting at a passing vehicle? Nobody talks about the reckless conduct that led to this whole thing.
But you know
so
why.
It's okay you can shoot.
Well, I mean, they didn't kill anyone. That's that's another thing. Like, straight up.
At a passing vehicle.
Hold on, John. You know why?
You know what happens when someone breaks the fucking law, right? You know what happens? No matter how fucking violent the law might be, you as a cop are supposed to investigate, immediately detain, apprehend, and then investigate, okay? And then tried in a court of law. The criminals that are apprehended and detained will be tried in a court of law. Now, what he's talking about, once again, because of how comfortable these thumb motherfuckers are with how much power they have, what he's giving, what he's doing here is giving the game away, is that he believes that he is the law. Like, he literally believes that he is the law. Like, he is supposed to kill people all the time. It's killing time, motherfucker. That's what we're supposed to do. You feel me? Like, he's just basically saying that. He's like, what about what the kids did? Like, yeah, dude. Yeah, they're criminals. You're a cop. Your job isn't to murder them. Your job is to detain them. Okay? Why are you admitting that you think your job is to literally murder motherfuckers all the time?
I'm not talking about the preceding event because it's irrelevant to the legal analysis of what happened in the alley. I'm not talking about whether the kid is in a gang.
No, Chris, it's a direct no. That's not true. Because if someone's willing to shoot at a passing vehicle, there's a simple expectation that they're certainly willing to shoot at anybody, including a police officer. So it is relevant.
But I'm saying to you that the condition preceding for the officer in the alley, in terms of his legal justification, is that he is reasonably suspicious that the person he's pursuing has been involved in a felony. I'm giving you that here. They responded to shots fired. They run. I'm saying I don't know why it is necessary to paint the kid one way or another. He answered the command the way he did. The officer had to make a decision, and you're saying the decision was justified. I don't understand why the fact that the kid's a gangbanger, because I believe that gets perceived as you trying to smear the kid. Why is there any need for that?
I'm just stating facts. I'm not smearing anybody. That's just the facts.
But how is it
relevant? More facts. It is relevant because it goes to the mindset.
What if he was a priest running down the alley with a gun in his hand, and when told to stop and drop it, he did what the kid did and got shot?
What if he was a 40-year-old male? Would we be having this? What if he was a 40-year-old male? Would we be having?
But he's not, dumbass. Do you not understand what you're doing? And it doesn't even matter. What if he was a 40-year-old man? It's still fucking not. Oh my God. The point is, you don't fucking know. You're not supposed to do that.
Having this conversation right now? Probably.
What if he had a rocket launcher?
Nah, but the fact that he's 13 makes everything different. That's not fair either. But here we are.
Well, does it make it fair? No. But no matter who the kid is.
Bro, he's literally pissing, shitting, farting, and crying because he thinks it's not fair that people call out his police force that ended up murdering a 13-year-old. Like, this is insanity, dude. Like, how fucking cocky can you get, dude? Look, play this video in perpetuity when motherfuckers say cops are not entitled, when motherfuckers talk about police brutality. This defense that he's launching comes at this issue from such a profound point of entitlement and privilege that just playing the video in and of itself is a good enough justification to understand how fucked policing is in this goddamn country. Like, in an instance where a cop shoots a fucking 13-year-old who put his fucking hands up complying with the lawful orders the cops were fucking demanding he comply with, and this dude is mad that people are upset at him. Calling a 13-year-old a fucking gangbanger. As though the cop fucking knew that. He didn't do shit. He's not supposed to fucking assume Oh, shots fired. Someone's running away. Oh, they're a gangbanger. Time to murder him. And you guys already know what has happened in mass shootings that, involve white people. You know what happened to Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse was 17 years old. Kyle Rittenhouse literally fucking traveled to an area that he wanted to defend private property at. Cops dabbed him up, gave him bottles of water, sent him on his fucking way. Sean Hannity describes Adam Toledo as a 13-year-old man.
We are awaiting the release this hour of Chicago police body cam footage that captured the fatal police shooting of a young 13-year-old man by the name of...
He was about to say boy, and he had to stop himself and say young 13-year-old man. Brother, this is it. This is it. Look, I admitted that Kyle Rittenhouse is young, okay? When we talked about Kyle Rittenhouse and motherfuckers were like, motherfuckers were like, oh, he's a fucking man. He's a man. Like, no, he's not. He's 17 years old. He's not a fucking man, okay? He's a kid. And I fucking said that at the time as well. I want to know how Sean Hannity described Kyle Rittenhouse. "13-year-old man," he says. Let's see if there's a Hannity. Well, this was Bondi on a show. Here's someone on Sean Hannity's show. The former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, who served on President Donald Trump's impeachment defense team, played the video. Hannity played the video of Kyle Rittenhouse. Said that it was a war zone. You got a 17-year-old out here trying to protect this state, she exclaimed. He is helping people who have been injured. He has paramedic training for being a lifeguard. He's taking graffiti off walls. He's trying to mitigate the chaos out here. Once again, it should be noted that Rittenhouse is not from Wisconsin. The video speaks volumes, Bondi said, adding that the victims are criminals who were chasing him down before claiming that it's too soon to charge him with anything. Okay? We have a little boy out there trying to protect his community, Bondi continued. A little boy.
Kid was out there trying to help people. Were people killed? Absolutely. But again,
hold on, I don't want to show the video.
We don't know yet. You've got a little boy out there trying to protect his community. Should he have been out there with a gun? No. But should he have been charged with murder? We just don't know yet. And they charged him 2 days later. So, it's a war zone out there. What's it coming to in these liberal cities when teenagers have to go out there to try to provide aid?
Yeah, the fucking Chad 13-year-old man versus the virgin 17-year-old boy. It's great. What's happening in these fucking little cities, or liberal cities, where little boys are taking up arms? 13-year-old man, motherfucker. 13-year-old man. What the fuck, dude? Which one is alive today? Oh, the 13-year-old man is dead. The 17-year-old little boy, who's a little child, is very much alive. What's it coming in these liberal cities when you can't even bring an assault rifle across state lines that you legally are not supposed to be carrying to instigate a self-defense situation where you murder 2 people and severely maim a third? It's great. Yeah. Guys, maybe Sean Hannity had this take because he's a pedophile. Who knows?
A young 13-year-old man by the name of Adam Toledo.
We don't know. I mean, it's like I personally find it really suspicious when motherfuckers are out here saying maybe he's a fan of lolly porn. Who knows? You don't know. You don't know. Maybe he is a libertarian after all. So 13-year-old man, fucking asshole, dude.
If social media is any indication, there's a lot of chatter today about possible unrest. I hope it doesn't happen, but with Chicago's track record every weekend, I guess you'd have to go with the odds, considering there are dozens and dozens of shootings and killings every weekend in Chicago, that this might not be particularly good. We are awaiting the
It's great. Good stuff, boys. Good stuff. 13-year-old man. Young 13-year-old man. Oof. Okay. Notice how quickly they move from the actual murder of a 13-year-old and immediately jump the gun to potentially the violence that may come as a consequence of this. Like, you're already showing that you do not give a shit. Like, that part is normal. Cops kill 13-year-old boys and whatever. Who gives a shit, right? The fucking property damage that might occur afterwards, though. Let's hypothesize. Let's talk about the hypothetical property damage that's probably going to come as a consequence of the fucking brutal actions of the police force here in Chicago over and over again without any accountability whatsoever. I mean, holy shit, dude. They bring up Chicago, but then offer no actual solutions. Yeah, this is why it's always laughable whenever motherfuckers are like, what about black-on-black violence? Here are some, what about black-on-black violence in Chicago is such a fucking dumbass racist position, and here's why. Because it implies that black people don't give a fuck about the violence that they're subjected to in their own goddamn communities when there are so many motherfucking organizations like Moms Against Violence in Chicago and numerous other organizations that straight up work to better their own communities and to escape the oppressive socioeconomic conditions that black people have been subjected to as a consequence of redlining and centuries of fucking racism. Okay? Like, it's such a scummy thing to be like, oh, black people don't care about violence in their own communities, just about police violence. Like, fuck you, asshole. You don't give a shit. Okay? There are so many local organizers that specifically work on this. The real problem is that there's a structural solution that is a necessity here, okay? Because there's a structural problem. It is a lack of resources. It's after-school programs being shut down. It's a terrible schooling programs in CPD, in the Chicago public school system, which is 90%, which houses 90% of the black and brown students in the entire state of fucking Illinois, but only gets 70% of the funds in the entire state. Okay? There are the problem is that Rahm Emanuel, liberal mayor, right? Liberal fucking mayor. Rahm Emanuel selling off certain parts of the South Side so that they can create a police academy rather than utilize that area or utilize the funds rather that you get from selling off certain parts of Chicago to reinvest into schools, to reinvest into programs that will keep kids off the streets. But no, more policing is a necessity. We need to give cops UAVs, drones, rocket launchers. That's the only way we will keep the blacks in check. That's the fucking mentality that these motherfuckers have. No one wants to investigate the socioeconomic conditions that cause this sort of crime, that cause sort of behavior. 13-year-old kid is like joining a fucking gang. Why? You think a 13-year-old knows better? You think a 13-year-old has the mental fortitude to fucking, I don't know, make these sorts of decisions on his own? You think it's because people are just bad? You think this 13-year-old's evil? No. 13-year-old young man. Sorry. 13-year-old man, by the way. CPS teachers are literally on strike every week, using the city would pay more attention, but nah. Okay. Let's finish this fucking
No
dumbass
matter who the
video.
man is, it should matter that the decision in the moment was justifiable. I'm sure you'd agree with that.
And
as the
I
head of the union.
started my dissertation with saying it is 100% justified. That officer's actions were actually heroic. There's a very good reason why he only shot once. Like I said, he could have been shot multiple times, but the officer assessed in a split second. Unfortunately, he committed to the first shot already, justifiably so.
And look, I appreciate you on that. And you just said something that I haven't been able to confirm, so I'm wondering if you know something I don't. The gun that was discovered at the scene, you said there were shell casings found. Do you know that there's a ballistics report that says that was the gun that was at the scene and that the kids' prints are on the gun?
Well, there's a video of the two offenders standing on the corner of 24th and Sawyer, the northeast corner of that intersection. As they're firing, you can't tell who's firing,
right,
but the 8 rounds are fired at the vehicle as it's passed by. The casings were recovered in that same area. So it wasn't the car shooting at them. They were shooting at the car.
Okay.
That's what triggered the shot spotter. That's what sent the police over there.
I don't disagree with any of that. I'm just wondering if you knew that this weapon goes with those casings. Do you know that?
No. No, I don't have confirmation yet, but I'll bet you staked in.
Motherfucker, you don't even have confirmation yet after the fact. And you're so confident, dude. This is the problem. Like, it doesn't even matter if it's literally the kid who fucking personally shot the gun. What matters in this circumstance is the one who did the murder, okay?
Dinner it is.
I don't want to bet for it or against it, but I'd love for you to tell me when you know. And
like, he spent 9 minutes talking about how, like, this kid definitely fucking is responsible. Doesn't even have the evidence. It, again, reinforces the point of view that, like, cops operate this way because of the lack of fucking scrutiny, okay? They just get away with it Did I get raided or some shit? What happened? I just like got up by. I'm so thankful I found her again. I found this gem yesterday. I can't stop laughing at your TikTok. Oh, this is famous, dude. This is my real funny guy. This is my most famous fucking TikTok, boys. Real funny guys. Okay, I didn't realize that I was looking. Why didn't nobody warn me? That's not funny. It's not funny that you. Real funny guys. Look at how angry I look. I thought it was Blue stealing it, baby. And when Blue stealing it goes wrong. She blasted me on 4K, dude. She literally put it up on the TV for the entire family to laugh at me while we were looking at, the photos that we took. Terrible. Getting 100 million bucks and not wanting to pay anything in tax doesn't happen to anyone ever. Wrong question in this case. What? Correct question. What happens when you get ultra rich? What? Joe's worst crime is it isn't differentiate between liberals and lefties. There's an entire spectrum of left-leaning people. Dude, is this subreddit based now? Like, this is the Joe Rogan subreddit. Why do they all sound like a bunch of little Marxists, dude? Imagine not understanding what defund the police actually means. It means take funding away from the police and police work. Also, what the fuck is up with Joe's completely historically inaccurate view on gun rights and vaccines? Sad because he has adopted the Republican revisionist history where you cannot restrict gun rights and you cannot mandate vaccines. Some basic fucking research would have told you not only can the federal government place limits on both, but historically they already have. And we have not seen a descent into chaos that he and the Republicans are pushing. Okay, dude. Joe Rogan has radicalized them. No, I reread that lefty liberal comment. They were saying that they don't want to be associated with the lefties because of defund the police. Oh, okay. I didn't realize. Well, I see the controversial ones like liberal Reddit getting triggered by Joe Rogan. Again, hilarious. I mean, this is literally Joe Rogan's subreddit, brother. There's his fans. Your last post is literally you crying about a video game mentioning the word vaccination. Honest question, why do people stay subbed here when they hate JRE? I think we've all seen droves of criticism that have taken over the sub. As someone that sees the podcast as a casual talk show entertainment and not an op-ed news report, I enjoy the podcast as much as I did years ago, and I find all the growing hate to be very suspicious. When I no longer like something, I unsub from it, as I imagine most do. Because Joe Rogan sucks now, but the Reddit is still good. There you go. Mystery solved. Owned. Some people are paid to fill the subreddit with hate. Yeah, dude. Isn't this the guy that said American deserved 9/11? America, not Americans. Yes, my mistake. America deserved to have 3,000 innocent civilians killed. Gotcha. It's not that hard to wrap your head around it, man. It is definitely. Who the fuck is this asshole? Terrible takes. This dude literally agreed with everything Joe said while continually whining about him. Very cringe. Oh, God. Joe leaving a state with the most in taxes and the worst crime rates and homelessness being considered going crazy is pretty hilarious. Oh, my God. Dude, controversial is always my favorite on Reddit, dude. Seriously. I can't last 5 seconds into a Hassan video without cringing my entire body, even though I want to like him since I'm half Turkish. Oh, he's a Tim Pool fan. ITT. Marxist butthurt that Joe Rogan criticized their ideology. There's nothing wrong or even unpopular with his take in this video. I'm not sure why anyone would be surprised to have the same view for years now. Bro. It's kind of crazy that we're seeing another rise in communist Marxist far left panic like the Cold War. I guess it never fully went away. Man. Dude, don't pretend you wouldn't say America didn't deserve 9/11 if you were getting 100 million for it. What? I just don't. I'm like consistently confused about what's going on in the minds of Joe Rogan fans and in the minds of in Joe Rogan's mind in general. Okay, boys. Here's what it is though. Today's the day that my father, aka played by Dr. Lupo, and my mom, played by Willard Neff, are going to come into the city in a little bit in the city of Los Santos. So that's the reason why I started early today, because I wanted to very quickly get into it, because Dr. Lupo's only around for like a couple hours. So I'm going to dive right into a Polito job. Okay. I'm going to dive right into a Polito job first. We're going to rob the Polito Bank so that we can continue on with the quests that we had originally to finally get some thermite, to rob the vault eventually, which is like the end game boss of all fucking, the end game boss of all fucking vaults. It's crazy. I'm really excited about it. But in order to do that, we got quests from these gun traffickers, basically. Quests that that dictate that we go in and rob a Flecka, get the blue dongles, rob a fucking Polito, get the red dongles, bring the red dongles to them so that he will give us the thermite.